production of gasoline, which is called PMS, motor, pure motor spirit. And we thought it is good for us to celebrate this day, because this day really signifies quite a lot, because when we launch the gasoline, that same day the government said, okay, fine, today is the end of subsidy. The government was able to actually practically remove the subsidy, and that will really save not only it saved the system, it saved the downstream system, because as at that time, I think, the management of NNPC under Millet Carey had already even have about almost over 6 billion of debt owing the traders who supplied them this, and they were on the verge of stopping giving us products. But luckily we came in, and then we saved the situation. If you look at it now, you don't have ships that we used to pay demurrage of almost about average of $1 billion annually. This has been on for over, this, because the only way for us to have a strategic reserve is to have ships being loaded, so that there won't be shortage. But with the refinery, we produce every day, and then you can evacuate every day. And even though I've seen an area where sometimes we export a lot just because of some issues between us and marketers. But that one will address it one day. But today is a day of celebration. We don't want to be distracted. And also it is a time that I'm sure you know, which I'm sure you ask me questions about, okay, what is happening between us and, NUPENG. So if there are any other issues, we've seen all our own publications, and we think it is good for us to actually tell people exactly what is going on. Today, maybe we should restrict the questions and whatever to, what is happening, maybe either between us and, NUPENG, for example. DAPPMAN, we've just issued a reply to what they've said. And, we wait and see whether they will reply, because I can tell you for nothing, if they reply, you just keep your phones, on. So I can call you to come back, and that day we'll throw what you call nuclear weapon. So we'll wait. If there's any reply, I'm going to not use bomb, I'm using nuclear. You can read the meanings of what I'm saying, but I won't say anything today. So I'll wait. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, I'm here, and if you have any questions, which I'm sure you do, I will. And I think, some of my colleagues are here. I have my brother Sayu Dentacha is here. Mr. DVG Edwin, our group vice president, is here. Fatima Dangote, who is our group commercial director, and who also Tony reports to. And then I have Tony himself, Tony Chejena, is sitting here. And we have an economist, an analyst who knows this industry more than people who are operating it today, Mr. Dan Kule. He's also here with us. It has been a very rough journey, I must confess. It wasn't an easy journey because, we came in to change the narratives. We came in to change the system, how things have been done in the downstream. But this is not America. America, when Amazon lands, when they landed, others, they actually re-strategize and they remain in business. But in Nigeria, it's not so, because you have people who are used to rent collection. And so almost we're getting fight all over. We're getting fight from people that they believe we have removed food from their table. But based on us, it's not that we remove food from their table, it's just that we made our country and our continent very proud. Because all the countries in Africa, they import petroleum products. Two before were not importing, but right now they've joined the queue, they are importing. All the refineries in South Africa, only one, they've actually destroyed them. They are not, because what they do, they use the international traders, the local marketers and co. They all connive to suffocate any refinery. If I can maybe just remind you, you can see that today, the real fight that Trump is fighting India, he has no issues with India. In fact, he was very close to, Modi. But his main fight is about the crude oil of Russia going to India. Because that's the same crude, because that crude is being pegged at 45. So when they refine it, they make a lot of money and they will take it and look for home for that refined product and go and dump. And most likely, things are not very clear to you because the issue is that you should also investigate how much this same gasoline, which is PMS, selling in our neighboring countries, is double. So why is Nigeria very low? Thank you. So Nigeria is very low, and what are we doing? People don't know that, yes, we're actually sacrificing a lot because the crude we're buying were not allowed, the crude for Naira were not allowed to sell it. We're only to process it and supply it to Nigeria. And at a time when Mele was there, they were even jacking premium. We have even paid up to $6 premium to Brent, when the Russian one is selling at 20. Okay, so how do you compete with that? That's one. Number two, the infrastructure there is already, it was done, built by government. Our own infrastructure here, we have power here which is almost 500 megawatts of power, because that's part of the infrastructure. We have the government, they've been very magnanimous. They allowed us to build the 10 lanes road, which will subtract and take that away from our tax for a 3 years period. And we must be very thankful to His Excellency, Mr. President, for allowing that, because the roads that we have around here, there are quite a lot of roads. So, I mean, this place has the most infrastructure in the country. So really, we must actually, thank Mr. President for, doing that. So when you look at all these things, you look at now we are paying high premium, okay, the Naira crude, because we are not allowed to sell it. We are allowed to only process and sell it domestically. And somebody is bringing this thing from Reliance and Co. in India to take it to Lomé. And when they even go to Lomé, despite the cheapness of that, they now actually blend it and put chemicals. But because we're normally consuming as fast as there's no reserve. no reservoir in the country. Only here we have reserves because we have at any point 500 million liters. So with that, if we're actually going to keep it as reserve, you see that it will actually caked. So they bring that one. When they bring that one, what happens is that they will dump it in our own market. Today, I'm sure some of you are in investigative journalism. You can ask, and you can quote me. The 85% of the fuel, petrol going to Republic of Benin is from the informal sector. 85%. So when you say that 85% of the Republic of Benin's oil, petrol, is from the informal sector, what does that mean? That it's coming from Nigeria. That's the only next, there is no any body that will go anywhere to import. So that's still smuggling. And I can understand why sometimes people will now fight what we are doing. So these are the drawbacks that we face during this period. But we went ahead. And one of the issues is that, okay, somebody say, but we sometimes even export a little bit cheaper than the cost that we sell for domestic market. That's not so, because when we were getting suffocated, you sell us crude, you charge us premium, which is still happening today, and then we compete with Russian product. And then the only way for us to keep that refinery going, we have to sell. And when we are going to sell, the same team, part of the mafia, they will now price us low. So we sell a bit low because we have to survive. That is what is happening. There's nothing. So do we have enough to supply the country? I am still insisting that yes, we do have enough to supply Nigeria. I don't believe there is a difference. Regulator is saying 50 million. Nobody can confirm it's 50 million. Even though 50 million too, even during COVID, when people were not moving, it was 50 million. And at a point, it was 93 million. We have shot up to 90. You've seen it in our own advert. So what is the way forward? What do you people expect next year? I believe by next year, all of us will have to sit down and resolve this issue and say, okay, fine, look, what is it? Because it does not make sense for us to do that. There's no country. If in fact, in Nigeria, people who even produce this water, they have a protection. Because if you don't have a protection, you'll be dead. The issue is that today, when you go and buy a camera in Japan, Nikon camera, I can tell you for nothing, call anybody that you know in our embassy to help you buy one. Give him a specification. That same camera, you will find it cheaper in Alaba. Why? It's not smuggled or something. No, it's because that is how trade is. That's why Trump is applying duties. The whole thing about export is for you to export, you go and dump your goods in somebody's market, which means you go and make sure you discourage them from producing their own, which means you take jobs, you create jobs, and you export poverty in there and dump it. That is the real, issue. And what I keep saying, if the business is not good, because next year, our even capacity, I believe, will go up to 700,000 barrels, not 650. We are doing quite a lot of adjustment, changes, and code that I believe our capacity will go up. And based on what we have shown you before, we can produce even more. In fact, 58% of our capacity will be for export after satisfying Nigeria. But all what we are saying is that, okay, fine, let us now go. Because it was consistent supply to the market. We will now know, yes. Because if you look at it now, from just the last 3 months, we have exported almost 1.8 or so billion liters. We have exported 1.3 million tons of various, no, of just gasoline, 1.1, about 1.2. Yes, 1.2 million tons. So you do that times 1.341. It will give you the number of this, you know, I mean, say you can calculate, I will tell them. So if the market is there, why are we exporting? Okay, because there's no need for export. Nobody, and I had also over somebody, a spokesman of DAPPMAN, which even though I don't want to say anything about DAPPMAN today, but he's the spokesman today on Arise. He was talking about, no, we actually don't have capacity, or we don't have this. We have the capacity. He said that, no, if we don't have the capacity, then why are we exporting? Because the dumping process is massive. It's not small. It's the same way they use in killing textiles that they want to use in killing us. And you ask yourself a question now. Most of these trading companies, I don't want to quote a name, majority of them, if you look at it, in the last 23 years, they were not even existing. And you go back and check, right from Gabon's government, they had that crisis. 31st of March 1975, the government had to launch a budget to make sure that they eliminate fuel queues in 1975. Oh. And some of us here were not born at that time. 1975. Because 1975 to now is what, 50 years. So we've been battling with fuel queues for 50 years. I think even for us to eradicate fuel queues, we should be actually celebrated. Because we have taken away fuel queues, we've taken away $1 billion of yearly demurrage, of which last 10 years we must have paid $10 billion in demurrage alone. Okay? And majority of those ships, and I repeat, majority of those ships, when they come, they don't discharge all. Because who is going to check? The person checking, he's collecting 100,000 naira salary. So it's easy for him to collect an envelope of $10,000 and sign off whatever document you give him. Majority of those ships, when they come, they don't discharge all. They discharge and just carry the rest. They go and recycle it. So that is a discussion also for another day. But all what I'm saying is that we need to be very careful here so that you don't even create. In fact, the current thinking about some people in the industry is what will even create a total monopoly. Because I'll give you an example. When we started sugar, we were the only ones in Nigeria for 11 years that we had sugar. We didn't stop anybody from doing sugar. And then Bua went ahead and came in, set up his own, and joined us. Later on, Flour Mills of Nigeria went ahead and set up. Now, when you go back and you think about it, in there, say maybe 2000, what I could only think about and I can say, okay, I can afford, was a cement terminal. Okay, a cement terminal, that is to import from, we're importing from Indonesia, from Taiwan, from all over the world. And we're importing, Nigeria was number 2 in imports in the world. And President then Obasanjo said, no, please, Aliko, can you come and see me? I went there early morning, you know, he wanted to see me at 6 a.m. I said, no, sir, I'm in Lagos. Give me up to 8 in the morning. I will fly and come and meet you. At 8 o'clock, I was there at the villa. I said, okay, Aliko, remove your Dangote cap, put Nigeria's cap. Let's talk. Which I did. And he said, okay, how do we stop this import? Because this import is disturbing me. And as a president, I cannot sit down and see that we are just bombarding Nigeria with imports of cement. We need it, but we have all the ingredients of producing cement. We have the limestone, we have the clay, we have everything. So what do we do? As I said, the only way for you to do something, because it is more profitable for us to import. To produce is more difficult. And you know, because we have what? We have a trading mentality. When you have a trading mentality, it's different than an industrial mentality. And trading is not really something that anybody can be proud of, because tomorrow I can decide and pack up that I'm not doing. But when you set up an industry, you can, nobody will set up an industry with 100% of his money. So there are stakeholders you are owing money to. So you have to keep that business going. For you now, you know, banks will be happy, you know, so it will be a circular economy. Everybody will be happy, suppliers, everybody. So going back to cement, that is how Obasanjo now said, okay, fine, go and do it. And in the cement, we are the only ones that believe in the policy. So when we went at first cement plant, when we attempted in 2000, February or so, we bought Benue. Benue people say, no, over their dead body, they will not allow us, because this company must be sold to white people. Because all the other ones were bought by foreign firms. But this one now, they don't agree. So we fought for 46 months. We left that Benue as we were fighting. We went and put up Obajana 5 million tons. Even our bankers were scared. Now, fast forward, we finished Obajana. We commissioned Obajana. We went on. And from Obajana, we now went to Igbeshi. From Igbeshi, we now went to this thing. Okay, but we've done that. Boa now, as we speak, he has almost 18 million tons. Lafarge, that when we were, you know, when we launched Obajana, they had less than 1.2 million tons of production. They are at almost 12 million today. And there's a newcomer that came in this year, Mangal. So you can see, if not that it was profitable to do so, there would have been only one Dangote doing cement. So I will take you to where I'm, you know, what I'm trying to say. So now when you look at it, there's nothing like, okay, fine, you're monopoly. Somebody will say, okay, fine, there's no benefit. Today, Nigeria will, from next year, will be earning almost $500 million from export of what? Cement. Because we believe that foreign exchange issue with inflation and co in any African economy, you have to watch it as an investor. So now if you keep talking about, no, let's not make this, okay, we have already escaped because we already have a refinery, we have delivered our own. So if there is no support, that these people say that, no, we must not make good money. Okay, fine. If we don't make good money, nobody will enter the business now. And then you end up with only one supplier, because NNPC's refineries can never, ever compete. Because the market here is gasoline market. And when we produce for any barrel, we have 54% of gasoline. NNPC today, if they try, they will achieve 18. They will produce low fuel oil, they will produce all this, which is not needed today. So it will be a loss. The more they operate, the more money they lose. If they don't produce anything, they are paying salaries, pension gratuity is increasing every day. Because if they don't get rid of them, they will keep sinking in problems. So the best option that I believe, if people now really want this market to open, is to encourage, not only us, is to encourage everybody. We did not stop anybody. There are over 30 licenses that were issued. So those people who are making noise, they should also go and put up plants. When they put up plants, then Nigeria will become the biggest hub. Even though now, Nigeria is the biggest hub, majority of Europe's supply and US of aviation fuel, we supply, because we produce a lot of it. you know, I mean, the gasoline that I was telling you earlier, we actually between June, July, August, and part of this September, we have actually exported 1.6 billion liters. Almost, yeah, 1.6, 1.8. That is up to this. And this month too, we have more to sell because they are busy importing. So I think it's something that which I think we are not the ones to address the issue, and government is actually going to address the issue. They are looking at it. They are going to address the issue because it's not. I mean, it's not about you know. We don't want to also be a monopoly. We want other players in the business, but other players in the business, you cannot come to a soccer field and you want to play cricket. You want somebody. So if they want to play, let them come and play soccer, so that you know we know that it's the same rules of the game, everything. But you know the other players they want to play cricket, and cricket really when you hit the ball, you can hit somebody on the head. So that's this. I hope I've answered your question. But okay, definitely by next year, I believe we'll have a different story. Nigeria will be the largest exporter of polypropylene in Africa. It will be the largest supplier of this. Yes, you know, and we're not deterred by all this noise and call. You know, I mean, we'll call you very soon when we're launching something. We're actually targeting to be the largest fertilizer, urea fertilizer in the world. And that's a big celebration for Nigeria. And whether people now come, we will support our government to make sure that we keep creating and generating jobs. And we're generating jobs every day. That's why sometimes, you know, I laugh when, you know, what do you call them? Is it NUPENG? NUPENG. I don't even remember the name. So, you know, NUPENG said no, there will be losses of jobs. Gentlemen of the press, our company did not only buy 4,000 CNG trucks, we bought 10,000. 4,000 tankers, 6,000 dry cargo. Because there are some they carry our coal, some they carry this. So we have them in various this. Because what we are trying to do is that we are trying to modernize this. But you can see how innovative we are, because who is going to lose? Actually, Dangote Refinery will lose because we'll lose a big customer. Dangote Cement used to import 40,000 tons every month of diesel. So now they will stop buying from us. They will now go and be using their gas, CNG. And like what I keep saying, we're not going to be deterred. So as soon as people now realize, because those trucks, when they came, the CNG, they didn't cause attention. Because the ones that cause attention are the tanks. The tankers are the ones that actually cause the attention. But those when they came, now we have already launched almost 4,000. And before end of the year, the remaining 2,000 will arrive. Because even today, we have a ship that brought about 200. Every day they will be arriving. By end of October, all the 4,000 tankers will be here. But by end of November, we'll have total on the road 10,000, I think 250 total. So, but then, if you check the news on Thursday, okay, on Thursday, not this Thursday that passed, the other Thursday, that's 11 days ago, NIPCO just doubled the price, more than double, from 230 on CNG, they took it to 500. And this is all part of the game to make sure that, yes, we don't allow Dangote to go this. And what we are saying is that, no, we are trying to make lives of people much easier. How easy do we want to make it? Because we are saying that, no, don't worry. When you are in uh, Damaturu or in Maiduguri or you are in Yanagua, just pay. When you pay, we will deliver to you. You only pay what you receive. So all the risk of stealing, risk of whether accident or whatever, we will take it out of you. And why? Because it's easier now. It's like now, today, you will now go, for some of you that have visited America before, you go to Macy's or you go to Walmart and you go walk in there, you burn your gasoline because you have to go there. Okay, wear and tear of your car, you go there and buy something, you go back home. But today, from your own phone, today I can order something from Amazon. It will be delivered here in Nigeria. They were using DHL, UPS, and all these people. They don't use them anymore. They spend 23 billion to create their own logistic infrastructure. Did anybody in the government of America say that, no, Amazon, you can't do that? Just sell goods and, you know, depend on other people to now do that. Why we as Dangote, we don't want to really rely on anybody? I'll also give you a story. When we were importers, okay, the only people who were always holding us by the neck were actually transporters. And that was the time now when my brother finished his university in Atlanta. I said that, please start coming back home, buy trucks, come and start it. He started with our own this thing before he became a rich man. So he was our transport manager when we first launched our own trucks. Because we realized that that was the only way. Now we finish everything and somebody now will come and hold your neck. Because if there is no evacuation, what do you do? And today when you go and check our records, and it is actually in our own financials of Dangote Cement. Dangote Cement, even now with the trucks that were bought, we're only doing 60% of our own cargo. We're not trying to take anybody out of the market. These trucks we launched, we didn't stop anybody from his work. You are saying that there will be lots of jobs. Are our own tankers going to be driven by robots? There are no robotic trucks now. There are trucks that, yes. And by the time you take a workshop manager, mechanical, electrical, okay, people who look after tires, people who look at logistics, movement of the trucks, dispatch, back office, every truck is about 6 people. So these 4,000 trucks they are fighting over, it will create 24,000 jobs. And let me give you also another good news. What we are saying is that our salary is almost 3 times or 4 times their own. I mean, our own, you know, after 5 years, free accident, nothing, a driver can apply. Since we are driving hazardous goods, you can apply and get a housing loan. Our drivers earn more than graduates. If you look at what they earn in a month, it's almost 4 times minimum wage. And you are saying that, no, don't create jobs. If you look at it, that's why I said that my people, when you got here, I'm sure my people took you around and show you some of the trucks. And please go and ask anybody. I don't want to tell you, but go and ask everybody. It's not every truck that you can load here. You know, with just a spark from the silencer, the whole place can catch fire. But see, some of them, when they come, we have to manage because we actually don't have trucks. And I can show you, by the time we load Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, you see the volume will crash because the trucks are not there. They are talking about 30,000 tankers. It's not true. Nobody has 30,000. 30,000 where? For where? How? What do they carry? So to actually, ask all these things and say, no, you know what? Let's make even life easy. Okay, because the question of you joining a union, if you look at the act, I think it was section 12, subsection 4 also, it said that it's voluntarily. You have to volunteer to join a union. Even religion is voluntary now. I can't force you to be a Muslim if you are a Christian. You cannot force me to change my religion. I will choose. And if I think I'm doing the wrong thing, tomorrow I will decide I'll move and change to another one. So it is not a question. Nobody will lose any job. And if they have that issue, any of their driver, because the fight is over drivers, any of their drivers who doesn't have a job and he wants to join these people to earn more money, he is welcome. It's not true. There's nobody who has lost his job. We have actually launched 3,000, about 980 or so of the bulk cargo. And it took us even time to even have drivers. Drivers now are very difficult to get. And we are not the only ones buying trucks. People are buying trucks. And we have training school where, yes, because safety is number one to us. You know, because every truck is how much? You think you want, every truck costs about 170 to 190 million, depending on even Chinese one. Yes, about 175 to 190 million, depending on what you have in it. So you cannot just now go, because what you have invested, actually, we have invested almost to the tune of 2 trillion naira in terms of trucking. How can somebody now just come and say, no, 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 don't operate, park? Where and how? Nobody will lose his job. We are creating more jobs. We are looking for people now. If you have anybody, please introduce. We are employing drivers. We are employing mechanics. No, it's true. We have now a total of almost 40 or 50 Chinese only to stay here for 3 months and train Nigerians to be able to service this, because we can't afford foreigners. But locals, they can. You see, these trucks that we have, they are like Peugeot. You know Peugeot, that's why Peugeot was very, very good, was rugged. Any village that you go, when you have a problem, the mechanic in that village can repair it. So that's what these ones are. They don't need much of training. So forget about all this one, saying somebody will do. Which job is somebody going to? We are creating 24,000 jobs, minimum. And it's not that we will stop at this one now. Next phase of our this from January, we are looking at even electric vehicles. Yes, so it's not a question of, this. So when we now just come, you want to tell me that, no, keep using these old trucks. And now if there is an accident, may God forbid, you want to come and say, what, sorry. We have to safeguard our own investment. And somebody can even intentionally bring a bad truck to come now and, if we have an accident, at least that can slow us down. We don't want that situation to happen. And really, honestly, tell you the truth. You can nominate 5 of your people. I will pay for tickets. I will, not only that, I will pay for tickets. I will give you, I will charter a private jet for you to go to our neighboring countries and find out what is the cost. Because you can do the 5 countries in a day or 2 days. You go to filling stations, you see how much people are paying. And you can also even ask, what is the duty aspect of it? You can back it out. Still, you see that Nigeria is minimum of 40–50% more expensive. Nigeria is cheaper today than Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, the right of any Saudi, he believes that he should be given oil free of charge. Because their cost of production is $8 compared to our own of 40. Yes? So when you look at it now, the first time when we came in September last year, the price was 1,030. Today, we have brought it down, including transport anywhere up to outside, out anywhere in Southwest, 841. This despite the rise of exchange rate, despite anything, despite inflation, despite everything, is by far cheaper. And that is up to where you will consume more. And even with this price, areas like Abuja, Maiduguri, and Co, they are not going to pass this price, unless something dramatic happens. So now you go back and say, okay, this same time, I think it was in September 2024, the same September last year, diesel was 1,700 now. All of you were buying diesel for your generators and co. We came and announced, and we brought diesel up to 1,020 today. So when somebody is talking that, no, this is a Greek gift, I say, okay, fine. We have given Greek gift. Why don't you give French gift? Yes. That's what we could give now. We've given a Greek one, you give French one. Even if it's a Greek gift, it means that yes, that Greek gift will still be there all the time. But all what we are just saying is that nobody will sell product cheaper than us in Nigeria. It won't happen. There are several charges here, where if a truck is going to load, NUPENG has collect almost about 50,000, 48,000. And, each truck, by the time everybody collects its own, we are talking about 80,000 to 84,000. So who pays for that now? Even all this one now, they are rent seekers now. All this money is the consumer that will pay. Whether people stop you on the road, you pay, you have to add it to your cost to now sell. And that is what is happening. The consumer actually pays. And there's no need to force people now into union. If anybody wants to join union, even our own workers, we'll say, okay, fine, welcome, go and join union. It's just like what he's saying, these are people that, at the end of the month, they can easily go and give their wife money to go to the market and buy a bag of rice. But if you are earning minimum wage, by the time you spend 70,000, you don't have anything left now. But this one, you don't have anything to worry about. You can educate your children. You have enough, money, health insurance for you and your family free. What else are you looking for? And if you work well, you can earn up to 350,000. Depending on the number of trips that you make. I think the issue is for us to really focus on industrializing our country. But I can tell you for nothing, there's no any foreigner that will come and industrialize our own country. Other nations were not industrialized by other nationalities. So we have to work and make sure we sort out our own issue. And if we, Nigerians, were not investing in our own country, how can we convince anybody to come to our country and invest? So the issue is that we need to come out and invest. And I can tell you, go and see any Indian, right from Mukesh Ambani down, including this gentleman here. They don't wear anything but Indian. I'm telling you. Yes. Anything they will not. They will not wear anything but Indian. Because if they don't patronize, then there will not be job growth. And we need to be very careful, because maybe luckily for us, a lot of people don't have a real data. Data of Nigeria, you have 8.7 million new babies every year. So how do you provide jobs? Because, if you remember when, okay, maybe I don't know your age, but when we were kids, we were not even buying Japanese toys. Yes, until they started improving a lot, blah, blah, blah. Now they became even premium. Then we left them and now went to the Chinese. You look at companies like Kia. Kia is almost bigger than BMW. So if you don't patronize your own, how? And that is why really we must thank His Excellency, Mr. President, by doing this Nigeria First. It's not a joke. The Nigeria First, I think the National Assembly should even pass a law and protect. You look at it before, the biggest union is not all these NUPENG and Co. No, it was textiles. That is why Adams Oshomole became very powerful. They were all over, the entire over Accra, everywhere. But most of those warehouses now, they've been turned into churches and into just buying, packing of goods. No, it's true. That's one. So going back to your first question, which was, okay, fine, do we intend to go into retail? No, we don't want to go into retail. Because if we had wanted to go into retail, you know, it was during when we were building this refinery that they sold Mobile, they sold the current Adobe, which was, you know, AP. Okay? They sold 3. I can't remember the last one. Also, Oando. Would have bought them now. The 3 of them did not cost 500 million. Would have bought them. Our SPM alone here is cost us 900 million, 980 million. So we would have bought them as part of strategy. You know, it's like you now, you say, okay, no, I'm going to buy a car, but you are just struggling for the car, but then you don't have the wheels. So obviously, you know, it should have been mandatory on us to have created those wheels so that the vehicle will move. If we knew this was what was going to happen, then maybe we would have done it the other way. But we didn't want to be called monopoly. That's why we left that side. Say, no, let's just restrict ourselves to production. They will become our customers and we'll have a very nice party together. But, you know, so if they are looking for a nice, this is fine. But if they are looking for a fight, you know, I don't know whether you've watched a lot of my interviews. I said that I have been fighting all my life. There's no business that I did that I do not fight. So this one is not a surprise. The still we are talking about, yes, we will definitely, we'll look at the opportunities of doing that. And Dankule, you know, I mean, he was right. There is no nation that you can build without a steel industry. And honestly, between us here, Ajakuta will not work. Okay? We can keep deceiving ourselves. We can keep being passionate about this. It's not possible. It's like you now, if you remember, those vehicles we used to produce from Volkswagen, Igala. If you bring Igala now, will you now compare it to the current Kia? No. Yes, things have changed. In fact, I was waiting for my driver. We didn't see him in Italy on Tuesday, and my assistant called a, you know, an Uber. So, you know, we just got into the Uber, me and him, trying to go to this gas tech. So I was just telling, no, we were going to a restaurant. So I said, you know, just, you know, so the guy was nice to us, gave us, you know, mint or chewing gum if we want to, you know. I said, no, thank you. And so he just started, so I said, you know, so, I mean, this vehicle is nice. You know, what he said, no, it's Tesla electric. I said, oh, that's good. So he said, about electricity is very expensive here. I said, okay, so what does it cost? He said, about 20 euros to fully charge. But then, okay, then how many kilometers do you run? He said 500. So you can see that 20 euros for 500 kilometers. So things have changed. And all of us will have to keep changing, because if not, you will become a keg. Yes, you have to change. So now when you carry something like, you know, Ajakuta, you say, no, it's like you now going to the graveyard to try and bring a dead person that you want to really make that, or you go to hospital, somebody who is on his dying bed, you say that, no, he must come and run 100 meters. Yes. So it's totally impossible. And we are dreamers, you know, and what I keep saying, you know, I love Nigerians, because it is only a Nigerian who will actually rush to the airport without having a confirmed booking. And he will make the most noise. So he say, yes, he's sitting. Yes, he'll be shouting, he sits. So that is how we are naturally. But really, you know, come to think of it, we should be very careful, not only in Nigeria, in the entire African continent. because people are importing poverty into our nations and exporting our jobs out. And we have the most, growing population in the world, the continent. So, yes, the biggest challenge for us now is how do we create jobs? And that's why I keep saying that it's good. Let us even keep, educating our people. When we do that, if we have full educated people, we have to have some smart people. I can tell you today, when we use this, when we built this refinery, the Nigerian engineers that we hired, in fact, it's better you even hear from him. Did they perform as good or better than the Indians? Eddie?
In fact, they have performed so well that Qatar came and poached those new engineers whom were taken and trained as expatriates to Qatar.
The expatriates now in Qatar, 18 of them. 18 of them. So, like right now, if we are building this new fertilizer we are going to build, majority of the engineers will actually be Nigerians. What is just paining us is that after training 67,000 people plus Nigerians, nobody is doing any other bigger project that they can now go and get a work. They can get some jobs. So this is what you're supposed to do once there is a growth in the nation. But right now, we all have to be very careful because there are more. What I keep saying, there are more people who have more liquid cash than me, for example, in Nigeria. Maybe one or two or three without mentioning names. But then now, when they see us going through this wahala, they run to Monaco and just stay. JJ. They don't want to go through this hell. But me, I've already developed too much gray hair and I'm ready to just carry on. So, so that is the issue. So we have to be very careful because you are scaring people who are supposed to. And as you are scaring them, then you are actually creating us to now become bigger and bigger and bigger alone. And you alone, you can't score football alone now. You need a team. So the only team is for everybody. We can't be now, we as Nigerians, we have a problem. We don't have steel, we don't have enough, power, or we don't have this. It's not done now. It's not everything that government will do. Just here now, it's supposed to be one of the big guys, either Tony Elimolu and Co, that will go and say, you know what, let me go and do, let me go and do hydro of 5,000 megawatts. Or let me go and work with the government and do infrastructure. So the fault is not only government, we also are at fault. Because the government is one, we are on the other side. And you cannot clap with one hand. So we must also do our own for government to succeed. So the support of government is mandatory on us. And we don't have any issue. It's just like what I said, earlier on. I said that you look at it today, we are building a brand new 6 million tons at Itori. And the 6 million tons in Itori we are building is 100% export. Itori is not for Nigeria's market. It's for, am I right? Yeah. It's for export, 100%. And when we went to China, so people will know that, no, we are continuously going to be investing in our country, nowhere else. Despite all these people, because most of them now, they are actually staying on the fence. So since they are scared of investing, once we are there, they will start shouting, monopoly, monopoly, monopoly. So how? It's a game. Monopoly, you have to stop somebody, or you go now and you have a system where you block other people. But we are not blocking anybody. There is what you call a face setter. So when we set the face, the others will say that, okay, so this is like before now. Before we used to watch all these Maradona and co playing. Our players were not up to that tour. But right now, you look at the French team, most of them are blacks. Today, when somebody like Burna Boy or Davido, they go and perform, you see 85,000 people, full stadium. An American cannot gather that crowd. So there are so many possibilities of life. Once you have a life, you should not have limited ambition. And as a country, we're far away, we're far ahead of all this Singapore and co. If Singapore was no resources, they can have between pension fund and their reserves 1 point something trillion, 1.3 trillion. How can we not have that? So that's why when President said that, look, he's looking at 1 trillion economy. It's possible. Today, none of you, maybe you don't know, the Indonesia, despite their corruption before, I don't know now, but there's even no country that doesn't have corruption. But despite of all this, Indonesia's economy is 1.4 times of Saudi Arabia's economy. They are 1.3 trillion economy. Saudi Arabia is 900 and something trillion. 900 and something billion. So we should actually say, no, these ones, they are there. I was telling Edwin that the Chinese, I went and I saw 7 years ago when I went to China. This time, last week when I was there, some of them have grown to the limit that I was even ashamed that, look, it seems that I'm not doing anything. Yes. There's one company, Sherry, somebody came and, with just shirt and jeans and co. He was running the company, he said, this year, the last 2024, their revenue was 60 billion. So, and I look at 60 billion and I say, so it means that even, this guy, even if I get to next year, I get to my 30 billion, he's already double. So I said, okay, so what are you going to be this year? He said about 92 billion, 2025, from 60. So it is by far much better for us, I believe, and it is a win-win situation. When somebody has something, you are not to chop that thing alone. No, it is for everybody. The way for it to be for everybody is for you to pay your taxes. And that's why I keep saying that in our own cement business, for example, today, where now government say, I don't know, we are not giving you any incentive, blah, blah. If you want, you go and build. We said, okay, we still went ahead and built. We are building, but we are doing export. We are building, we are adding local capacity. And for every 1 naira we turn around, government collects 52 kobo. Yes. From various taxes, yes. Yes. That's what we share. So government collects more money than the one that we even shareholders take as dividend. Because when we also take dividend, they will block you and give you change because they collect 10% withholding and give you balance of the 90. So it's a win-win situation. So if now the people who are calling us monopoly, let's say we did not set up the business, government wouldn't have collected these various taxes of maybe 600-700 billion from us, from various taxes. So how are we going to educate all these children? How are we going to look after their health? So we are better off as a society to encourage people. That's what I keep saying, that please, I'm begging even some of my friends that I know, even not them, even anybody, whatever that you do, when you make that money, please invest it here. Because that will strengthen the currency, that will improve the life of everybody, and it will create jobs. But if you keep taking the money to Dubai, you are doing injustice to yourself. Because eventually you might not benefit from that money. Because you will die, most likely you don't want even your family to know you have that money. Because their request, even if you are a genuine person, they will increase their request. It's a human nature now. In terms of launching, we are not launching all at a go. Because like what I told you, most of the trucks as they are coming will be launching them. You must have gone around to see them. Even these ones, putting them on the road is a Herculean task. So we are actually bringing them. What you have actually seen, even today, we have a ship. I don't know whether, one ship carrying 200 just arrived this morning. I think I will forward it to Tony to see if you can project it and show you. So the 4,000 we are doing, that's why if you look at it, we now have chosen where to go to. I think it's southwest, we are going to, I think it's Kwara, we are going to Delta, we are going to Abuja, Edo. So we've chosen these ones to concentrate and perfect them. The next one, then we will bring out more, maybe Kano, Kaduna, and other areas. But we want to be sure that we keep this in, launching them as fast as we can. Somebody asked me a question there, what about DAPMAN? I said, well, DAPMAN, if they can locate our office, they can come at any time for us to have a discussion. We have no issues, because everything is about the benefit of Nigerians, so the issue is that sometimes it is very difficult. That's why sometimes it's very painful when somebody says, no, because, for example, I think, I don't have any other achievement. I think I've achieved so much in my life today because what I have today, I did not dream of 1% of it. So I have no issues at all. The issue is that, okay, fine, even if I make more money, what else am I going to do with it? So it's not about making money. What is more important for me is actually liberating my country and partially Africa. You see that last week, or 2 weeks ago, we signed off a project in Ethiopia to produce 3 million tons of urea fertilizer. Okay, I should have said, no, let me invest also the money here, because we get calls from all over Africa. Every president says, no, please come and invest here. But there's a limit. But my first priority first is Nigeria, because we have a lot of gaps. And that's why when you look at it, eventually, maybe the president will call some of us and say, no, come and intervene in this power. Because in Nigeria, we cannot be produced. Last week, we went down as low as 1,200 megawatts. So we as a company, we are generating 1,500 megawatts. And I don't think really, Edwin, we have up to 200 people in our power division, all group-wide, generating 1,500. Because we still have this. So if you have this sort of thing, that why you discourage people from investing, by today would have been struggling with Natel. Yes? Why is Natel today? So are you now going to complain and say, no, MTN and Airtel killed Natel? No, they didn't kill Natel now. Natel refused to move. Yes. It's like you now, you didn't pay gate fee to watch a football match, and you are outside there shouting that, no, some people have cheated, they are inside. They have paid their own money now. So, you can't do that at all. So, gentlemen, I think we've had a good one, but I'm 100% sure. Let's see what, will happen. I hope in the industry we'll find a solution to resolving all the issues, whereby it will be a win-win situation. We're not just fighting for nothing, but we're actually fighting for survival, because if this project fails, then actually Nigeria will pay even much more expensive price than us, because an individual, but a nation is big. The issue is that most likely, because, when you achieve something as a nation, most likely you don't appreciate it. But every single country that I know, that I interacted with, that I get invitations from, they are very, very jealous about, how did Nigeria pull this one through? Because nobody, all these traders and co, they never ever expected this refinery to come on stream. And that's why if you look at it, people carry on building tank farms here and there, and even the traders, because the traders keep telling them that no, there was nothing like a refinery. Because nobody has ever built more than 450,000 barrels per day. So forget about these people. They are talking about 1.5 times the biggest that are Saudi Aramco. did. So people really don't know what we went through because, in fact, the former Minister of Energy of Saudi Arabia, between us, he told me, and I'm saying it here, he will hear because, today news is all over the world. He said that, Aliko, you want to go and do a refinery. Say, do you know that it is only sovereign nations and big oil firms that build refineries? I said, Your Excellency, honestly, I'm not here to ask for advice. So I've already started. He said, you started? I said, yes. So, good luck to you. Since we're in Mecca, we should pray. And we're not the only ones. Mexico, they are building one. I can't remember. What's the name? Anyway? There's one. Anyway, you can Google it. 360,000 barrels. Half the size of our own. They've spent 25 billion. It's still not working. So people don't know. Sometimes, you see there is no amount of sabotage we don't go through. And if you remember, during COVID, we were every day in the news. Even some of our lenders, they wanted us to stop doing the work. But because they know that if you go through COVID and they are not extending your credit, eventually you are going to go bust. But because I believe that yes, we can do it. My team, all of them, they supported me that yes, we can deliver this thing now. We said, okay, fine. We started with our own money. When we went to the banks to give us money, it's okay, fine. The collateral is supposed to be only the refinery. We say, no, carry all our assets. These are your collateral. That's how much we believe. So if the refinery did not come to fruition, it means that they would have taken all our assets away. All. When I say all, any company that you see, we put it as collateral. And then now we deliver the refinery. We deliver the petrochemicals. Fertilizer, they don't have any issue with it. And now you say, no, we are not going to survive. You have to take our lives first. It's not possible. Don't forget, please, it is your duty to encourage and put pressure on Nigerians to keep investing at home. If we don't invest at home, nobody will make this country great but us. And we have what it takes. Nigeria has more entrepreneurs than any African country, followed by Egypt and the rest. Yes. So please keep encouraging people. Don't discourage anybody. Thank you.